At the tail end of last week, it had appeared as though Gamergate 2 had officially claimed its first scalp, for as ardent as they were to try to make that either Cabrutus or the Steam page he was curating, Sweet Baby Inc. detected, it looked as though the bastion of games journalism, Kotaku, was going to be the first one to fall. But when I was seeing that news, it was one of those things where I was just kind of, I was wondering the timing on it. Like, Kotaku has been on death's doorstep for a long time, but right now, with some of the most percolating news in the entire industry breaking, why would they decide to change course? I could understand in a couple of months' time for them to make the decision to go away from being so overtly political and simply focus on, oh gee, I don't know, video games? I think that would probably be, and it's ultimately going to be the way that they're going to have to go, but I wasn't really buying into it. For as many people that were singing the praises of the death of Kotaku, I was just waiting in the background a little bit. And lo and behold, I guess who ends up being right again, but and again, it's just another day that ends in Y. Kotaku editor-in-chief exits due to parent company's new guide directive. So Jen Glennon, their, third EIC in as many years, yeah, really a good sign of a healthy company, resigns after 5 months into her role with the publication as they are deprioritizing news. Well, that's one way to put it. But Kotaku editor-in-chief, I guess formally, Jen Glennon has exited her role reportedly due to a new editorial direction from GO Media, according to Aftermath. Per Glennon's letter of resignation, the parent company, GO Media, mandated that the game publication focus on game guides and deprioritize news. No. The type of news that Kotaku's putting out. The why is Orange Man so bad? I thought this was a games journalism outlet. What does that have to do with anything? Yeah, but you don't understand. Politics is that. Okay, we got it. I firmly believe the decision to invert Kotaku's editorial strategy to deprioritize news in favor of guides is fundamentally misguided given the current infrastructure of the site. Yeah, the current infrastructure of the site. The way that she would put it, the people that they employ, the likes of, I don't know, Alyssa Mercante, the one who broke the original piece. A lot of people dubbed, including myself, the template for articles moving forward during, if we're going to call this Gamergate 2, how to run cover for Sweet Baby Inc. This was her response to everything going down. I'm just going to go back to you, because at least then when I get, that's another visual I don't need, I get paid well for it. Interesting admission that you have right there, and yeah, writers for Kotaku are literal prostitutes. I just thought that they were in an ideological sense, but no, like they said, okay, like Jen Glennon, the former, current, who knows, editor-in-chief said that the infrastructure of Kotaku, they're more focused, and here's Mercante once again, there's a story I've been simmering that I really want to pick back up again. If anyone has any connections to a prominent female Twitch streamer gaming personality who leans very hard into Christianity and homophobia, DM me and email me with a link in bio. I'm particularly interested in people who knew this person before their sharp rise in popularity. I think everybody who's at least periphery or somewhat aware of this situation in the periphery knows who we're discussing here. You know she's talking about Melonie Mac. No, it's not somebody that I like really all that much. I think that she's rather annoying as somebody who watches side scrollers on the regular, puts it on in the background, whenever I'm exercising or anything like that. Melonie Mac is a co-host on the show twice a week for the most part. I think that her takes are pretty bad in general, and her voice is very annoying to listen to, but to try to simply attack her and try to pass off her religiosity as a grift, well, that's very interesting. But yeah, this is what this chick is going to be doing. She's just going to be the hatchet man for Kotaku, and that's what they want to do. Also, if you personally know any decently popular gaming personality or streamer who has seen a meteoric rise in popularity shortly after adopting more reactionary views, so instead of you just simply doing the work for yourself, you're trying to source out any people that you think deserve a knife in the back, Fantastic stuff. I'm so glad that Kotaku is going to be sticking around for a little bit longer, because Kotaku owners, a GO Media, reportedly backs down from fully shifting site from news to guides, which is the only reason that people check out legacy outlets anymore. Like, let's be completely honest. Outside of just simply checking their funny bone, who goes and sees what IGN's up to? When was the last time anybody checked out GameStop? Or GameSpot, rather. GameStop also. It's like they're on death's door as well. But the entire industry is self-immolating. And at least the parent companies over the top realize this stuff. And it's like, okay, as a last-ditch effort, oh, I don't know, maybe we'll just try to do this one thing called appealing to gamers by covering games. Oh, no, we don't want that, okay? Because the editor-in-chief resigned, and the staff are pushing back in specific regards to Mercante. That would be with her hips. I'm barely recovering from what seemed, and honestly still seems, like the first step in the funeral procession for the infamously bad faith video game news website. Kotaku owners, GO Media, have reportedly backed down from their desires to pivot the site's content away from news stories and towards a generic video games after facing a rash of backlash from its staff. The tumultuous situation within Kotaku's offices was first made public March 21st, when the site's now former editor-in-chief, Jen Glennon, announced her resignation from the outlet via Twitter. Some personal news: I've resigned from Kotaku. Jim Spanfeller, his Herb. I wish I knew what that. What are we supposed to know about that? What the hell is that, anyways? Though at the time, the exact reason for resignation was unclear. We would later figure that stuff out, obviously. According to the copy of a resignation letter sent to Spanfeller and fellow GO Media executives Aaliyah Goldman, and later obtained by video game news outlet Aftermath, Glennon chose to cut ties with Kotaku in protest of a reported desire by its owner to shift the site's content away from news and more towards generic video game guides. Ostensibly, those which are meant to simply SEO bait, like how to change classes in Dragon's Dogma 2, and how to find the best weapons for, Cloud and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And to be completely honest, given the fact that, well, I've been very vocal about me playing through, and right now, I might be done by the end of the week. I'm just about to enter Chapter 12. I've just wrapped up at, Nibelheim? I'm really taking my time, mostly because it's such a dense game, and I'm looking forward to doing a big, long review of that, because, there's a couple of other issues, but the story, I'm starting to hear some people are, really taking offense with this ending, and it's really seeming like we're coming back around to the same place we were with Remake, but I'm gonna have to experience it for myself. Speaking of which, the only reason that I've gone back to the sites like IGN or GameSpot is because I'm looking for some places for some of the collectibles. They're the first ones that pop up, and generally speaking, okay, when it comes to well-written, articulated, and also showing the proper paths and all that stuff, some of those legacy outlets actually do a pretty decent job, because I could watch a video, but me being, I guess, showing my age a little bit, I just like to see a diagram, and then I can kind of figure it out for myself. Like, okay, am I missing anything here? Okay, great. I'll just put that in my mental Rolodex in order to reference it a little bit later. And with Dragon's Dogma 2 and the 100+ hours that game's gonna have, coupled with FF7 Rebirth also being over 100+ hours, and especially if you're going to be doing a hard mode run like I anticipate doing, having guides like that, that's probably actually going to drive traffic to your site. And like how, GameSpot used to have and had an affiliation. I don't even know if it's still open. Another site, if you're of a certain age, you're gonna know this name immediately. GameFAQs.com. Those forums, those boards, oh my God, they were popping. It kind of seemed like a smart move, but no, I ain't gonna do that. After careful consideration, I've concluded that the current management structure and decision-making processes at GO Media are not aligned with my values and goals for Kotaku, which was what prior to all of the Sweet Baby Inc. Defense Force were you guys actually doing? Like, had anybody thought of Kotaku outside of, wow, I can't believe they're still alive in the past year or change? I firmly believe that the decision to invert Kotaku's editorial strategy to deprioritize news in favor of guides is fundamentally misguided given the current infrastructure of the site. This decision is directly contradicted by months of traffic data, I bet, and shows an astonishing disregard for the livelihoods of the remaining writers and editors who work there. All right, the people that made the site as irrelevant as possible. Won't somebody please think of the subversionists? Yeah, I'm better off without it. A source close to the situation who spoke to the aftermath, Nathan Grayson. Weird. Nathan Grayson, another central figure from the original Gamergate. Interesting. Kotaku staff will be expected to create 50 guides a week at the site. Now, to be fair, is there even like 50 guides? Unless that's for like specific things. Like, okay, the best armor for, I'll just use Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because at least I can make first-hand analogies for that one. Best accessories, okay, hard mode build, chocobo racing guides. Like, is that what we're going to be talking about? Because if you're talking about 50 guides per week for a game, that's pretty substantial work. That's a lot of work. And frankly, there's not even like 50 games that release in a week. But I don't know, asking people to release an entire staff release 50 articles, well, I don't think that that's terribly difficult. Then again, this also plays on the whole idea that games journalists for a long time don't play video games. They just simply want to bitch and complain about politics. This shift towards guides was later verified by Kotaku writer Levi Wilson, who in the aftermath of GeoMedia's decision took down his own Twitter account to share a small cup of tea that management didn't even care about the quality of the guides. They just wanted to aggregate them from other sites like a literal content mill. Yeah, this is just once again showing it's the death throes of a company. It's like, we know that Kotaku hasn't been healthy for a while. You didn't have to come out and directly say this. It's like, we could kind of figure it out ourselves. But however, it seems the extreme pivot was short-lived. As per Kotaku editor Alyssa Mercante, following Glennon's resignation, the resulting outrage from the site staff over the new editorial focus, Kotaku staff had a somewhat productive meeting with management, and thus readers can expect news like hit pieces on independent creators to continue coming from us, at least for now. Heavy emphasis on that, because the moment, and we're even seeing it right now, given the fact that nobody's taken the side of those outright liars in mass media, by the end, I would imagine perhaps by the end of the summer, the likes of Mercante and Wilson, yeah, they'll be out there sharing links of their work, and we kind of know the links that we can expect from Melissa. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.